No days off. The dream is free, but the hustle is sold separately. The grind never stops. Either you keep up or you fall behind. I'm grinding while you're asleep. These are phrases we've all heard and read before, I'm sure. And listen, I get it. There's something about those phrases that sounds motivating, that sounds like ambition and hunger and all the ways we've been told successful people are made of. But can I ask you something? When was the last time you took a nap? When was the last time you went to bed, woke up the next morning, and truly felt rested? Can we talk about it? Hey, y'all. I'm Seneca, and this is Exhaled Hope, where we have real conversations about faith in the middle of the mess. No hype, no guilt, no pretending like we have it all together. Just truth that leaves us with real hope. Y'all, we are tired. Not just a little sleepy. Not just, I need a nap on Sunday tired. I mean the kind of tired that lives in your bones, like my grandmother would say. We are physically tired, emotionally tired, politically tired, spiritually tired. Y'all, we are exhausted, depleted, run down. And some of us feel downright run over. Dare I even say, we are weary. And I want to stop early in the podcast episode. And I just want to take a moment and talk to my sisters. Because although the need for rest is not exclusive to us, the differences in our experience are real. I was surprised, and then I wasn't, when I recently read a statistic that stated that Black women have shorter sleep duration, longer sleep onset latency, and poor sleep efficiency than any other group. That's all a fancy word to say, we're tired. But I don't think any of us need a study to confirm what we already feel in our bodies every morning when that alarm goes off. We have maintained certain habits generation after generation. The habit of doing more, being more, proving more. And somewhere in that inheritance, somebody forgot to pass down permission to rest. Somebody forgot to tell us that we are already enough. So can I be the one to tell it to you clearly? You were not created to do it all. To be all the things to everyone, to prove to every room you walk in that you are enough, while simultaneously finding your way to a life that actually feels like living. That is not what you were made for. And I know, I get it. I get it. Sometimes that hip-hop beat, poetic language, and even some of the people that we admire make grinding sound cool. Until you think about what it really means, what this grinding culture, this hustle mentality, what it really means for our mental, physical, and spiritual health. When you think about grinding teeth, for example, it's two bones grinding together. Now, personally, that does not look like a picture of thriving to me. It sounds like stress caught up in your jaw. That's a picture of damage. It's of friction, of something wearing down that was never meant to be treated that way. Grinding is abrasive. It requires crushing and friction, and yes, sometimes it comes out with a smooth product on the other end. But here's what we don't talk about, is that the process of grinding destroys the original structure of what you began with. Ground coffee no longer looks like the bean it came from. And I wonder how many of us have been grinding for so long that we no longer recognize ourselves. We started this journey as one thing, full of life, probably had some wonder. You were full of dreams and laughter, still had a little softness to you. And somewhere between the hustle culture and trying to prove we're enough and keeping up with everyone else's timelines, we got ground down, but we called it dedication. Except this dedication to success or to a goal, if it's not done with discipline and boundaries, can become our idols. And idols lead you to destruction, not to your dreams. But Can we talk about what God really says about rest? Because in my opinion, I think we get it wrong when we look at the creation story and we say things like, well, if God needed to rest after 6 days of work, then surely we do. If God rested, I know I need to rest. And then we still don't take a nap. But that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is I do understand the heart behind the comment, but I just want to push back a little bit because I think when we frame it that way, that if God needed to rest after 6 days, then surely we do, then we undersell who God is. Y'all, the all-knowing, all-present, all-powerful God does not need rest. He is listening to millions of prayers in a single moment right now. He is healing and correcting and calling us to himself all simultaneously. He does not get tired. He does not run low. Isaiah 40 tells us that he does not grow faint or weary. So when God rested on the seventh day, he wasn't doing it because he was depleted. He was doing it because he was modeling something for us. He rested to show us how to live. Rest was not a byproduct of his exhaustion. It was a gift that he built into the rhythm of creation on purpose, intentionally, for us. And here's what I love about that. Rest for the believer is not a reward you earn after you've done enough. It is not a prize for productivity. It is a command from a God who knows what you need better than you do. Jesus said it himself in Matthew 11. He told us, "Come to me, all of you who are weary and burdened." And what'd he say? "I will give you rest." Child, I love that scripture. It blesses me every time I read it. Because he did not say, "Come to me after you finished your to-do list," or "Come to me once you've proven yourself." He said, "Come here, just as you are. Yes, you are weary and you are burdened. Come here, and I will give you rest." The word give, he gives it. You don't earn it. You receive it. In 1 Peter 5, he tells us to cast our anxieties on him because why? He cares for us. Not because we've been good enough, but because he cares. Then in Psalm 23, he says he makes us lie down in green pastures. He leads us beside still waters. He restores our souls. You may remember how we talked about that at the top of the season. He makes us lie down. Sometimes God isn't waiting for your permission. Sometimes he's orchestrating the circumstances that slow you down precisely because your soul needs it. And I really do think that there is a shift in perspective that we all need to make. For some of us, we have been taught to view rest as sacrifice, like we're giving up something, that we're falling behind. It's almost like FOMO, the fear of missing out. It's why toddlers don't ever want to take their nap because they're scared they're going to miss something. Like the world is moving while we're still, and we can't afford that. But what if we started viewing rest as surrender? A surrender to a God who is a provider, who is our protector, who is the giver of the very purpose we say we're chasing after. When you rest, you are not quitting. What you're saying is that, I trust you've got this, God. I trust that what you've placed in my hands doesn't require me to run myself into the ground to protect it. I trust that you are working even when I'm still. I believe that that is an act of faith. Think about it like this. Okay, y'all, I'm a foodie. Okay, I love a good meal. And every now and then, I want a good steak. But what do you do with any good steak? You don't just cut it as soon as it's done. You let it rest. You put in all the work. You seasoned it. You cooked it. Got it to just the right temperature, exactly right how you want it. Then you step back and you just let it rest. Because that's what allows everything to come together. That's what allows the flavors to settle and the juices to redistribute. If you skip the rest on that steak and cut it prematurely, you ruin everything you worked for. God is not asking you to skip the rest. He's asking you to trust that the work you've done doesn't fall apart when you step back. Here's the thing. I have prayed for some very specific things, and I'm pretty sure that you have too. And here's what I don't want for us. I don't want us to be so exhausted that we can't appreciate what we've been asking God for. I don't want us to miss any blessing because we're too depleted to enjoy them. Don't rush rest. Rest relaxes us. It releases us, and it restores us. I know y'all probably like, Seneca, this is cute, but I got work to do. And I feel you. I really do. Much deeper than you probably can tell from this episode. I know the burden of trying to do all the things at one time. And my hope is that this podcast gives you permission to put at least one thing down this week. Or maybe you take baby steps and you put one thing down for a day. Lighten your load. Find some rest. And here are a few ways that we can all try and find some rest this week. I think the most important thing that I'm learning, and I'm not great at this, but when I do it, I can tell a difference. And that's protect your mornings. Before the world gets a word in, give that first quiet moments that you have to God. It might be 5 minutes. It might be 10. But before you pick up the phone, before the notifications start lighting up, please, before the news, let the first voice you hear be His. Stillness in the morning is an act of resistance against a world that wants to consume you before you've even had coffee and gotten your first morning stretch in. Protect your mornings. The second thing I think we can do is say no to something. Just one thing. Look at your week. Find the one thing that's on your calendar out of obligation or maybe even some guilt, but not from a place of joy or calling or necessity, and let it go. Saying no is not failure. It's stewardship of what God has given you. We cannot say yes to everything. So try it. Try saying no to one thing this week. Another thing we can do is spend time in a psalm. And in a change of what I would normally say, not from a perspective of study. I just want you to sit with it. Just sit with Psalm 23 or 46 or 131 or whichever one the Holy Spirit leads you to. But let the words slow your nervous system down. Let them remind you who is actually in charge. Spend time in a psalm. Fourth, I think we should rest our bodies intentionally. Maybe we try to go to bed 30 minutes earlier, or we could take a walk without your headphones. Sit outside. Do something that signals to your body that it's safe, that it doesn't have to be on guard right now, that nothing is required from your body other than to just be in the moment. Rest your body intentionally. And then the fifth one, which is a hard one for me and for most of the people that I know, and it is to receive help. Let someone do something for you this week without deflecting it or minimizing it or even feeling like you have to immediately return the favor. Just receive it, because part of resting is releasing the belief that you have to do everything yourself. Receive the help. My hope for you this week is that you find rest in the one who has promised to give it to you. Y'all, that's a wrap for season 2 of Exhaled Hope. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for showing up for these conversations week after week, for letting me be in your earbuds, on your commutes, in your kitchen, wherever you listen to me from, and for trusting this space with the real parts of your life. Now, in the spirit of everything we just talked about, Exhaled Hope is going to practice what we just preached. We are going to take a nap. For the next 2 weeks, we are resting, we are restoring, and we are letting things settle so that when we come back for season 3, we come back full. Because even podcasts need a Sabbath. So come back refreshed, come back ready. And make sure you keep up with us on Facebook and Instagram at Exhaled Hope. Y'all, I'm Seneca, And this is Exhaled Hope, the podcast. And I will catch y'all in season 3. And until then, girl, go take a nap.